Yah Shalom family. All praises to the Most High, our power, the great I Am, loving kindness, the Holy Great One, the power of the Yahudims. All praises to the all-merciful Father. All praises to our Mother, the ones who were, the ones who are, and the ones whom shall always be. We acknowledge the presence of the heavenly hierarchies. We acknowledge the presence of the seraphim messengers, the Urfaniels, the cherubims, the sanobims, the Elim of the heights, the angels of the presence, the watchers of holiness, the guardian angels and the abiding angels. Family, tonight we are continuing a series of the journey to your soul. The journey of your soul after you cross over into the many mansions of the celestial realms of the Most High. Doing these lessons for me, they take a toll on me. Sometimes I may do a lesson like this and I'm out of commission. It takes a lot of energy from me, because as I'm doing the lesson and as I'm reading, I'm making contact with these entities, these powers, these forces. On a very intimate level, I connect with them, and in whatever capacity that I do connect with them, I lose energy. So it takes me a while to follow through with a lesson like this because it affects me. And I have to be I have to prepare myself, prepare my mind to go into this type of information, because this information talks about life and death. You know, this is the conversation people don't talk about. You know, you would rather file this one away because it's not popular, even though everyone has a appointment with the angel Duma, with Bawan Samdi. Even though every one of us has a date, a time, a place where we will part ways with this earth in the physical form, and we will transmute our energy into spirituality. And some of us perhaps would merit reincarnation because it is a law of life and a law of love. And some of us do not merit reincarnation because of how we lived our lives and we violated spiritual laws, biological laws, all types of covenants. And some of us merit going to the higher levels of the many mansions of the Most High. And we will not reincarnate because our spiritual journey continues in a different form, in a different capacity. And we kind of like become a power for those who we leave behind, and we can guide them and protect them and provide for them from the other side. They can feel our presence always. And we can take on that responsibility from the other side as abiding angels. There are different names for these things in Creole. I just don't want to get into that tonight. But I'll try my best to just say everything in a way that you can understand. So this is a continuation of the angels of the seven heavens, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh heavens. The chieftains that receive your soul on the other side when you cross over for good or for evil. So it behooves every one of us to try our best to live our lives in the best way possible while we're here in the flesh. Okay. So in the last video, 2 months ago, actually already, we covered these seven angels here, seven chieftains. We talked about Tahavayel, Sahadayel, Statuvaya, Adiraya, Snugaya. We talk about Sandalphon. We talk about the angel Shemael. And we introduced a very powerful name of the Most High, Yahadonahi. It is a combination of Adonai, Adonai, and Yahuwah. And we brought great information to you. So tonight we're going to continue on this journey in the Zohar book 13. And we're going to go and we're going to elevate and go deeper. But before we get into it, we're going to go to the Third Testament, chapter 28, where it talks about death, dying, and the awakening in the beyond. This is the whole series, the awakening in the beyond. There is no death. No one can die. It's just a transmutation of energy, a crossing over from one state of matter to another state. The only thing that happens is that there is sadness because you miss the person. You miss the physical body that you were accustomed to for all these years. And more specifically, if the person crossed over at a young age, is going to really cause a lot of sadness to the people that the person leaves behind. So we call it a tragedy when a young person dies because the person did not fulfill their life purpose as yet. Perhaps they made a mistake and the mistake cost them their lives. Perhaps their life was taken from them by force. Perhaps it was a trap. There are so many things, but whatever the reason may be, every time a young person crosses over, it is always a tragedy because they haven't lived out their purpose. So we miss the physical body. And the person prayerfully have an opportunity to return and start over when they cross over into the beyond. So let's read this one more time from the Third Testament, chapter 28, page 254. Number 28. The Most High says, "Truly I tell you, that life on earth is one step more on the ladder of life. Why do you not understand it in this way in order to take advantage of all your lessons? That is the reason why many must return to life on earth again and again, because they did not understand nor make use of their previous life. It is necessary that you know that, because the spirit is to be subjected to a long and sometimes difficult test. It had a vast preparation before being made flesh. However, thanks to that preparation, the spirit is not disturbed by entering into this life. It closes its eyes to the past to open them to a new existence. And in this way, from the first instant, the spirit adapts to the world to which it has arrived. How different indeed is the form in which your spirit presents itself before the threshold of the spiritual life, or when it has recently left its body and its world, you see. And this is precisely what we're going to talk about tonight. How your spirit presents itself before the threshold of the spiritual life when it has recently left its body and its world, as it had lacked real preparation for returning to his home. See? Before returning back to your home, prepare yourself. So this is what we're doing tonight. The ancestors left these records so you can prepare yourself before you return. This is your cheat sheet. You have knowledge, foreknowledge that will help you prepare yourself before you return to your source, to your power. Help you live a more liberated life, a more holy life, a more righteous life. Help you live your life according to the laws of life, so you don't violate and make a mistake and your life get cut short and you're not ready and prepared to return. No. As the spirit lacked real preparation for returning to his home, it feels disturbed. The sensations of the material still dominate, and it does not know where to go or what to do. You know, these are the people who sometimes they are involved in a life of crime. And if their life get cut short, they wake up on the other side, immediately resurrected, confused. Or these are the victims of the criminals who their lives get cut short, and because they were taken off this earth before their time, they wake up they wake up in the beyond, confused, because they realize they're not in their body, and it's a traumatic event for them. You know, we covered this already in previous videos. The spirit did not learn that it is also necessary to know how to close the eyes to this world in the last instant. For it is only in this way that it can open them to the spiritual world that it had left before, where all is past awaited to be reunited with this new experience and add its new merits to all its previous ones. So we're gonna go into the Zohar book 13. And we're going to continue on page 278, the chamber of the very Heaven-Hod, the Sephirat-Hod, the chamber of the very heaven. Rabbi Shimon tells us that the second chamber is more hidden than the first. The second chamber pertains to faith. What is faith? Faith is the sum total of all the trust in your heart. Faith is knowing that you don't know how it's going to turn out, but you're going to give it your best shot. What we have been taught in Christianity is only to have faith, which is a disservice they've done to us. But you can also know the mystical work and the mystical aspect of faith. Faith is twofold. You should never have blind faith, because faith without works is dead. So that negates blind faith. The works is what you must do to make sure that the cause, the effect follows the cause. The elements of righteousness that you can employ into your faith to effect the effect. Or to effect the cause. Sometimes you might have to light a candle and grab a cup of water and talk to your ancêtres. Talk to your ancestors. Talk to your habitation. Talk to your démembrés. Talk to your righteous ones who cross over, because that's the works. Anyway, let's keep going. Sometimes you might have to go on a fast. Sometimes you might have to cook certain food. Wear certain colors. The chieftain in charge of this chamber is called Urfaniel. Urfaniel deals with all the souls who were executed or killed by other nations. Immediately, I know you're already thinking about those souls in Revelation 6, verse 9 and 11. The souls of the martyrs that were crying under the altar to the Most High for vengeance. But these were not the only souls that were killed by other nations. If we go back to 1492, when Columbus stepped foot on Haiti, and also on the rest of the Caribbean countries, when Columbus planted his flag on this mountain called Mont Saint-Nicolas, which is on the southwest, perhaps, of Haiti. It's a mountain called Mont Saint-Nicolas. That picture you see where he's planting the flag and one knee up, one knee down, that's on a mountain in Haiti called Mont Saint-Nicolas. And how they murdered those natives, the natives that were there, those native Haitians that were living there. From 1492 all the way up to that time, or before 1492 down, These are also the souls that were executed or killed by other nations till today. It's being done right now in this society right now. When these Gentile police officers murder your sons and your daughters in the streets. Now I know there are people right here and on my channel who experience great pain and deal with great trauma in terms of children getting hurt by gun violence. Urfaniel deals with all the souls who were executed or killed by other nations. We are told about the cup of consolation and the cup of bitterness. And this second chamber is called the chamber of splendor. This second chamber is called the chamber of splendor. And it is lit. This chamber is lit from above and below. We're gonna break down this entire paragraph very soon. The second chamber is lit from above and below, and we are told that all the cherubim come from Heaven-Hod-Hadarniel, the spirit of the left. Next, we hear that in this second chamber is a chieftain called Tzidkiel. Tzidkiel is appointed over the garments. And when the souls of the righteous ascend, Tzidkiel takes them to the river of fire. So we're going to go to the other Bible. If you remember a video that I did a couple years ago, called Paul in the Third Heaven, from the Apocalypse of Paul. When Paul went to the river, and the angel led Paul to the river, what was the river name? The river Sambatayan, something like that. We'll read it. I have it here. So this is the river of fire, and Tzidkiel is appointed over the garments which is the next body per se, your next vesture that you will be carrying, that you will be having, that you will be having when you cross over in the spirit realm. Hadarniel is in charge of which garment you will receive. And when the souls of the righteous ascends, he takes them to the river of fire. And after their cleansing, Tzidkiel clothes the righteous souls with the garments and brings these righteous souls to the angel Michael as sacrifice to the Most High, which is the Atik Yomim. Well, that's another name in the Zohar, and also in the keys of Enoch, the book of Da'at, the book of Methuselah. Rabbi Shimon says that by the mating of Urfaniel and Hadarniel, all the other rulers appointed over the world were created. So Urfaniel is a seraphim, Hadarniel is a cherubim. When Urfaniel, seraphim, and Hadarniel, cherubim, comes together, all the other rulers and chieftains appointed over the world are created. These are the 6 winged seraphim. We also learn of a living creature that rules over the seraphim. Now this entity, this living creature, rules over the seraphim. And the name of this living creature is Yofiel. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom, more so than Raziel. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom. Okay? This is the top seraphim. This is a chieftain of all the seraphims. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom, and he rewards all people who pursue wisdom. Are you pursuing wisdom? Yofiel shall reward you when you are on the road to pursue wisdom. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom, more so than Raziel. Rabbi Shimon tells us of pillars that are in charge of singing and pillars that are in charge of chanting. He explained that it is from the second chamber that the prophets who achieve their wisdom through visions or through dreams draw their inspiration. So if you get wisdom through dreams, if you get visions that give you a revelation through dreams, if you're a prophet and you receive dreams, revelation in your dreams, so you draw your inspiration from the second chamber of the very Heaven-Hod. However, Moses drew his prophecies from a higher level. Moses is also called the father of all prophets and the father of all seers. He drew his prophecies from a higher level, and which we're going to get into it in a second. So we're going to learn about these chieftains and their respective roles. Urfaniel, the seraphim. Hadarniel, cherubim. Tzidkiel. Yofiel. And they just mentioned the Atik Yomen, which is the Most High. And we're going to learn about these different chieftains and their respective role. The second chamber pertains to the secret of faith, so as to be united with the mystery above. Like the rows below and the rows above, as above, so below. This chamber is more recondite and concealed than the first. This chamber is more recondite and concealed from the first. Recondite means it's not known, it's a little known, it's abstruse. You know, it's complicated, it's abstract, it's mysterious. It's more mysterious than the first chamber that we covered, and you just have to go and read. Don't just read it. Watch the first video we did. The first chamber, which marks the beginning of the faith and is the light of wisdom or sight. Okay? Which was the first chamber of the descending grades. So we did this video. If you have not seen it, go ahead and give it a watch so you can follow along with this knowledge, pursuing wisdom, so you can get a visitation from the chieftain Yofiel. You see, the second chamber is more mysterious, it's more occult, it's more hidden, it's more abstract than the first chamber. It's more concealed. There are 3 openings to this chamber. One of the chieftain in charge over this chamber is called Urfaniel. Urfaniel is a seraphim, derived from the light, hence the word like of the Chaldees. Okay? Derived from the light or derived from the face. This angel, this chieftain stands in the presence of the Most High. This is a chieftain that gets very close to the Most High, hence the word, the name the prefix in the name Urfaniel. because he stands on the east side called face. This chieftain rules over 3 directions: south, north, and east. South on this side, which is right, which is Kased. North on the side which is left in Gabura, and east in the middle, which is the secret of Tiferet, the mediating column. So this chieftain has 3 directions: south, north, and also Tiferet, the middle pillar. This chieftain spreads across the entire tree of life. We'll get into it some more. On the 3 openings to the 3 columns, the two of them are closed. The right is closed, the left is closed. The opening in the middle is the only one that's open, and that's the secret of the verse. There is a mystery. Why? Because this chamber is more concealed. This chamber is not revealed, it's hidden, it's occult. There is a mystery to be had. You got to elevate your consciousness to really grasp what's really being said. The chieftain is over 3 directions, but 2 of them are closed. Only one is open, the middle one, which is the secret of the verse. Exodus 24 verse 10. Shema 24 verse 10. And saw the power of Yasharal. Hold up, let's go to verse 9. Moses and Aharon, Nabad and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Yasharal went up and saw the God of Yasharal. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of lapis lazuli. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of lapis lazuli, as the sky. But the Most High did not raise his hand against these leaders of the Israelites. They saw the Most High and they ate and drank. Okay? We continue. The opening in the middle is open in the secret of the verse, referring to the secret of the open gate in the middle, which is Tiferet, called heaven. And the chieftain Urfaniel stands at the open gate to the east, and under him there are 2 other chieftains in charge over the other 2 closed openings. You see, just because the openings, these gates are closed, doesn't mean that they are unattended. Urfaniel stands in the middle chamber, which is Tiferet, the middle gate. The other 2 gate, east and north, right and left, have 2 other chieftains guarding those gates, and they stand under Urfaniel, who is in charge over them. In charge of the 2 other closing openings of the south and the north. And all the souls executed by court order, which were killed by other nations, are all numbered by the 3 chieftains. And the chief above them engraves their forms upon his garment of burning fire. He raises them above and shows them to his master. The Holy One, blessed be he, then takes these souls and engraves those killed by other nations on his garments. You see, these 70 shepherd nations who killed those souls of the righteous. Remember, the Most High showed Samael and the 70 nations their recompense if they would honor us when we were in their midst, and they rejected the Most High and the promises the Most High made to them, that he would recompense them if they would honor us. Remember, the 70 nations in Samael chose to inflict wounds upon us, chose to murder, chose to go above and beyond of what they were supposed to do. And now today, they are getting the recompense of the seeds they have sown in previous generations, and they can't handle it. Revelation 18 verse 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And those executed by court order are allowed by the chieftain, are lowered by the chieftain and put behind the two closed gates, the south gate and the north gate. You see? Those executed souls are lowered by the chieftain of Urfaniel, and they're in these places of rest in the north and in the south gates, being watched over by two other chieftains. From there, the souls see the glory of those who kept the Torah in his precepts. They are ashamed of themselves and get burnt by their canopies, so they weren't righteous after all. Then the chieftain in charge opens the east gate before them, lights their way, and gives them life, starting at the east gate. In his hand there is a cup of life full of lights, called the cup of consolation. The cup of life. In the hand of the chieftains is a cup. In the hand of the chieftain is a cup full of lights, called the cup of consolation, the cup of life. It is a twofold cup, has two names, two sides, two aspects. It is because these souls drink first of another cup, which is the cup of consolation, the cup of bitterness, the cup of death. For they were killed, they were murdered, that they now deserve this cup, the cup of consolation, the cup of life. You see the balance of it all. In the world, when they were living as people, they were taken off the earth by murder, by execution. This was the cup of desolation. But now they merit the cup of consolation, the cup of life, because they tasted from the cup of death, for they were killed. Now they deserve this cup to console their spirits, to console their souls. And they're going to start living again, starting from the east gate, the gate which is full of lights. And in the same manner, there is the chamber of defilement on the other side. On the other side of the chamber of defilement, there is another chieftain with a cup in his hands called a cup of bitterness, a cup of his fury. We learn that there is wine and there is wine. Here also there is a cup and a cup. Some is for the better and some for the worse. He explains, wine is for the better, as it is written, and wine that makes glad the hearts of men. There is wine for the worse also, as it is written, a cup with foaming wine. It is full of mixture. In Tehillim, which is Psalm 75 verse 9. A good cup is as it is written, I will raise a cup of salvation, Tehillim 1:16 and 13. An evil cup as it is written, the cup of his fury, the cup of bitterness. Just as there is a cup of consolation, a cup of life, there is a cup of fury, a cup of bitterness that is being guarded by another chieftain on the other side of defilement. You understand? A cup of bitterness. There's always balance. Revelation 18 verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, fill to her double. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. Give her the cup of fury, give her the cup of bitterness, or give her the cup full of lights, the cup of life, the cup of consolation, the cup of life. Reward her even as she rewarded you. The journey of your soul to the beyond. As there are on the other side of holiness, chambers and chieftains, all for the good, holy spirits, and holy aspects. So they are on the side of defilement, chambers of chieftains, or chambers and chieftains, also all for evil, spirits of defilement, in charge, in all aspects of unholiness. So don't get caught up with anybody who's telling you heaven is in your head and all that other stuff alone. When you cross over from this earth, from this state of existence to the next, there will be a recompense of your soul, of your works on the earth. You will give an account of everything you've done or failed to do, say or failed to say. You will stand in the presence of the Most High, immediately resurrected, staring at the bright light of the cup full of lights, the cup of life, or the cup of bitterness. Don't be like those souls who's going to say, fall on us, O rocks, and there won't be no rocks to fall on you. Every word is a prayer. Your body is a bio scroll. You are writing everything you're doing. You're writing your own book. You are the author of your own book. One day you're going to read this autobiography to the Most High, your power. You are painting this canvas, which is your life. What will you paint? Repent to paint a better picture. This chamber is called Chamber of Splendor, since in it there is a spirit called Urfaniel, a never-changing splendor, illuminating constantly only with the white light in it, which is chesed. It stands within the concealed light shining from above, from the third chamber, and within the light illuminating from below, coming from the spirit of the first chamber that ascended here. And when the light of below of the first chamber strikes the upper light, which is in chesed, then this spirit shines as sight in the eyes. And when it rolls, it spreads a glowing light full of splendor. This chamber is called splendor. This chamber is called splendor. Remember, we said that this spirit, it shines from above and below. This chamber, the second chamber, is called Chamber of Splendor, and it is lit from above and below. So this is what we just read. If Urfaniel, a never-changing splendor illuminating which gets its light from Chesed, coming from the Spirit, coming from the third chamber, illuminating from below, coming from the Spirit of the first chamber, ascend here. The light of below, first chamber, strikes the upper lights. And the Spirit shines as sight in the eyes, illuminating from above and below. This chamber is called splendor, the chamber of splendor. So when those two lights strikes each other, it is splendor to behold. So this is the reason why it's called the chamber of splendor. The Spirit called Urfaniel shines upon this chamber and also shines upon the first chamber, as the Spirit of the first chamber illuminates openly from the Spirit here that is concealed, that is more recondite. Therefore, the Spirit travels up and down in the secret of the verse, which says, your rounded thighs are like jewels, for this is the chamber of Hod and Netzach, and Hod are called thighs. In Kabbalah, your thighs is considered hard. When you stand up as the tree of life, hard is your thighs. Since the light there is concealed, it is called rounded, hinting at concealment. See, when you write a verve, see, when you draw a circle on the floor and you stand in the circle, the power is concealed within the circle, the protection. The circle is your protection. So you don't want to step outside the circle. So it's called concealed. It's concealment because you're inside the circle. If you go outside the circle when you're doing your element of righteousness, you can get hurt. This is the reason why when you draw sigils, there's always circles within circles within circles that have different names of different chambers, different signs and different prayers and different verses to provide the protection. Let's go down. The first spirit of Urfaniel is concealed both above and below, shining, which is the secret of the Chayot, Esh, Mimalilot, or Mimalalat, Mem-al, Mem, like Mem-Haitian, Mem-alalat, meaning the muttering, fiery, living creatures. See, it cannot be uttered, the secret of the illumination of Hokmah, but sometimes it is electrum. Sometimes it is electrum when it comprises Hadarniel, from which come all the seraphim. Remember, Hadarniel is a seraph. Urfaniel and Hadarniel combined together create all the seraphims. Sometimes it is electrum. Sometimes it is like Hadarniel. See, it comprises, meaning it's part of something. Urfaniel is a seraphim. Hadarniel is a cherubim. Combined together, they form electrum. Electrum is all the seraphim because they shine bright. fiery serpents. Fiery serpents. You understand? 6 winged seraphim. This is a AI generated picture of a seraphim. These are the chieftains. Okay. All the seraphim come from those 2 spirits. Let's keep going. Through Urfaniel, life is made known to the world. Remember, every single one of us have 2, at least 2 seraphims, 2 seraphim messengers with us throughout all of our lives. At least 2. We read about that in the Yofiel Bible, if you remember. Through Urfaniel, life is made known to the world. When the world is acquitted, the Spirit shines. And there are life and joy. For with acquittal, the judgments are annulled and shine. Then the Spirit shines, as seen by the verse, Mishlei 16 verse 15. What is Mishlei? M-I-S-H-L-E-I. Proverbs 16 verse 15 says, in the light of the king's countenance is life. Is who? Urfaniel. Because Urfaniel is another word for life. Urfaniel, through Urfaniel, life is made known to the world. So in Hebrews 16 verse 15, he says, in the light of the king's countenance is life, which is Urfaniel. And his delight is like a cloud of the late rain. You see? When the world is condemned, the unholy other side has sway and rules. The spirit of Urfaniel is stored and darkened. And the whole world is sentenced under judgment. All depends upon the spirit. Why? Because through Urfaniel, life is made known to the world. All depends upon the spirit, as seen in the verse. And his knees smote one against the other. For fear of judgment is felt in the knees. This is why people stand in court and pass out. They can stand when judgment is rendered if they're found guilty during the court procedure. Judgment is felt in the knees. And his knees smote one against the other. Daniel 5 verse 6. We read. His face turned pale, and he was so frightened that his legs became weak and his knees were knocking. King James Version. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. The secret of Netzach and Hod in this chamber is the chamber of Hod. Here are found all the garments of the souls of the righteous who rise to be presented before their master and stand before him. When the soul ascends and reaches this chamber, a chieftain comes appointed over these garments. The name of this chieftain that is appointed over the garments of the souls that rise up to meet the Most High, his name is Tzidkiel. Tzidkiel is on the left because Tzidkiel comes from the justice side, Gabura, Hebrew for Zadok or righteous, Melech Zadok or Melchizedek. For when a man abides by the precepts of the law in this world, as he labored and strived to abide by them, Tzidkiel prepares a garment for him accordingly in this chamber, for him to wear in that world when he crosses over. Your garment is being prepared for you already. By the time you cross over, Tzidkiel will approach you and clothe you with your garment when you cross over in righteousness, because you were occupied or preoccupied with the law. You walk and live according to the law of the Most High in this world. As you labor day and night, going to and fro from Baby Olam. You were not caught up in everything that he had to offer. You made time for the Most High. So when you met the angel Duma, you were taken to the other side. You were immediately resurrected. And the angel Tzidkiel meet with you with your garment, which was being weaved for you as you lived every day, because you died in righteousness, or you crossed over in righteousness. When the soul mounts, that chieftain takes his garment and walks with it until they reach the river of fire, where the soul has to bathe and be cleansed. Sometimes it drowns and gets burned and does not rise all day until morning. When the spirit of the south is awakened, they all become renewed then and sing and chant like the angels who lost their power, were burnt and then regenerated, and they chant. So also the soul chants. Let's read that one more time, because I'm going to take you to the other Bible and read for you of the river Sambatayan in the Apocalypse of Paul. When the soul mounts, Tzidkiel, the chieftain, takes his garment and walks with it until they, Tzidkiel and the soul, reach the river of fire, where the soul has to go and get purified and cleansed, bathe and be cleansed. Sometimes the soul drowns and gets burned and does not rise all day until morning. When the spirit of the south is awakened, remember, the spirit of the south is guarding the gate. They all become renewed then and sing. The souls become renewed then and sing when the spirit of the south is awakened in the morning. They sing and they chant like the angels who lost their power, were burnt and then regenerated, and they chant. So do these souls also do the same. If the soul has the merit to ascend, the chieftain Tzidkiel takes the soul and clothes the soul with that garment. It is prepared by it and offered as sacrifice by the angel Michael the priest, to stand always before the Most High, the Tzidkiel. Happy is the portion of that soul who marries this. You see that right there? Let me see if I copy this page and take you to the Apocalypse of Paul. Paul in the third heaven. Oh, that's later. We're going to get there later. Let's see. Paul in the third heaven. I have it. Let's see. Right here. So let's take that out here. Let's continue this to the Let's continue this river Sambatayan, river of fire. We are now in the other Bible, the Apocalypse of Paul. I have a video titled Paul in the Third Heaven. I did over 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. Go check it out. Where I went through this entire chapter, broke it down. But let's get this precept for this lake of fire. This is Lake Achirusia. 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 The lake of fire, where the city of Christ is. So let's go. Let's get context. Let's get context. We are in the other Bible, page 539. Let's get context. Paul speaks. He says, I tell you, however, when the righteous have come forth from the body, and see the promises and good things which the Most High has prepared for them, they will sigh and weep yet again, saying, Why? Why did we utter a word from our mouth to irritate our neighbor, even for a single day? I, however, asked and said again, Are these the only promises of God? And the angel answered and said to me, What you now see is for the married who have kept the purity of their marriages in acting chastely. But to virgins and to those who hunger and thirst after righteousness and afflict themselves for the name of the Most High power, will give things 7 times greater than what I shall show you now. And after that, he took me up away from that place where I had seen these things. And behold, a river whose waters were very white, whiter than milk. And I said to the angel, What is this river? And he said to me, This is Lake Achirusia, where the city of Christ is. But not every man is allowed to enter into that city. For this is the way which leads to the Most High, the Tzidkiel. And if there is anyone who is a fornicator and ungodly, who turns and repents and brings forth fruit worthy of repentance, first, when he has come forth from the body, he is brought by the Chieftains Tzidkiel and worships the Most High, and is handed over from there by the Chieftains Tzidkiel at the command of the Most High to the angel Michael. And the soul is baptized in Lake Achiruja. Thus, he leads him into the city of Christ with those who have not sinned. And I marveled and blessed the Lord God because of all that I had seen. You see that? And the angel answered and said to me, follow me, and I shall lead you into the city of Christ. And he stood by Lake Achirosia and put me in a golden boat. And about 3,000 angels were singing hymn before me until I reached the city of Christ. This is the precept. This is the precept for what we just read with the angel Tzidkiel taking the soul to the river of fire and bathing the soul to be cleansed. Sometimes it drowns, sometimes it doesn't. And the angel Tzidkiel takes the soul and clothes the soul with the garment, because the soul has to be presented to the Most High after they come from the body. And the soul with the new garment, as it's being prepared to bathe in the river Achiruja, the soul is then handed to Archangel Michael to be offered up as a sacrifice to the Most High. It is prepared by it and offered as sacrifice by the angel Michael, the priest, to stand always before the Tzidkiel man. Happy is the portion of that soul who marries this. The Archangel Michael is none other than your father, your old father Yatzikad, who stands in the presence of the Most High always to petition for you on the earth, supporting you from the spirit realm. When you cross over in righteousness, great things are awaiting you. These chieftains are awaiting you to help you with your crossing over. The spirit of Urfaniel is in charge over the whole process and rules over this chamber. From this unity of spirit within spirit, a will within a will, the seraphims. The spirit of Urfaniel is in charge over the whole process and rules over this chamber. From this unity of spirit within spirit, Urfaniel and Hadarniel, by their striking each other to become united, their joining created all the other rulers appointed over the world. These are the 6 winged seraphim who sanctify their master 3 times a day. It is they who are strict with the righteous to a hairbreadth. It is they who punish in this world and in the world to come those who slight a man whom they learn even one thing of the law. They who insult a man whom they learn even one thing of the Torah and treat this man with disrespect. And those who make use of a person who learned the 6 orders of Mishnah and studied them for the purpose of declaring the unity of the Master. I told you, the seraphim messengers are your guarding angels and your abiding angels, and you have at least 2 that walk with you. So they are strict with the righteous to a hairbreadth. So when you go through something, when a situation presents itself, when a sickness hits you, when something didn't work out to your advantage as you planned it, It is the seraphim who's doing it to you. Why? Because you are a chosen seed from the beginning. You are a royal priesthood. You are a seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You from the line of Seth. You from Methuselah. You from Yatzikad. You from Enoch. You from Noah. You from Shem. You are chosen, sacred, the few hidden among the many. A selective spiritual breed. You are an evolutionary vehicle carrying divine knowledge. So they are strict with you because they know what awaits you in the other world when you cross over in the spirit realm. They know that the chieftain Tzidkiel awaits you with a pure garment full of lights to present you to the Atik Yomin after you are baptized in Lake Achiruja, in the lake of fire, presented by the Archangel Michael, the priest who stands in the presence of the Most High day and night in petition for you, guiding you, guarding you, protecting you, providing for you. So the seraphims, they are strict with you to a hairbreadth. They punish in this world and in the world to come. When they are settled, a spirit within spirit, Urfaniel with Hadarniel illuminate together. There emerges from that light a living creature. When Urfaniel and Hadarniel come together, there is another chieftain that comes from those entities coming together. This chieftain rules over all the seraphim, and beneath them are four eagle-faced living creatures, which is Jacob in Kabbalah, a face of an ox, a face of an eagle, a face of a man, and a face of something else. When Hadarniel and Urfaniel meets together, they illuminate together. There emerges from that light a living creature that rules over the seraphim, beneath which are four eagle-faced living creatures. And this entity, this chieftain that comes from the light of Urfaniel and Hadarniel, this living creature's name is Yofiel. Yofiel is familiar with all the mysteries of wisdom. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom, just like Methuselah have all the keys of wisdom given to him by his father Enoch. Yofiel has all the keys of wisdom, all the mysteries of wisdom. Now, because these eagle-faced living creatures, these four-faced eagle-faced seraphim living creature is also Jacob, and we know from the knowledge that we have, Jacob occupies the middle pillar of the tree of life, Tiferet. In Tiferet there is Jacob. In Tiferet there is Yeshua. In Tiferet there is Jacob. In Tiferet there is Yeshua. In the north, on the left, in the south, on the right is Abraham and Jacob, Abraham and Isaac. Jacob is a mixture of Abraham and Isaac. Jacob is both water and fire. Jacob is both water and fire, and we can go even deeper. See, I'm going to get into a video that I've been working on. I'll give you a little bit. Jacob is called the master of the four quarters of the earth, just like Papa Legba. Jacob is none other than Papa Legba. Jacob is none other than Papa Legba. I can prove it. When Jacob was, I'll tell it to you in the other video. I'll prove it to you. Four-faced, eagle-faced living creatures. The living creature name is Yofiel. He is familiar with all the mysteries of wisdom. He has all the keys of wisdom, greater than Raziel. Greater than Raziel. Yofiel could be Methuselah. Yofiel could be Jacob. Yofiel could also be Yeshua. Because they all occupy Tiferet, which is in the middle pillar. Let me give you another, perhaps I took it, another precepts for the body, for the vesture of the bodies. Tzidkiel come and meet you with when you cross over. Let me hit you with this real quick. Let's go back. Let's go to the oh yeah, I'm glad I saw that page. Hold up. Alright, if it's not coming up, forget it. Let's go. Alright, cool. Let's go to let's go back here. Let's go here. Let's read a little bit on Hadarniel. If you were around when I shared those books last year or 2 years ago, the books of immediate magic, then you have this one. I'm not going to tell you which book this is in. I should have never shared those books, to tell you the truth, but I did. But I tell you what, it's in one of those books, and let me read you about the angel Hadarniel. Number 6, sacred name, Yei-Chiaisha. Yei-Keisha. Yei-Chiaisha. From this name, we get the gematria numbers 330. It equals to the name Hadarniel. The angel, the chieftain Hadarniel, whose name means benevolence of the Most High, is the mighty guardian of the second gate of the celestial palaces. Exactly what we're reading right now from the Zohar, book 13. Hadarniel, the benevolence of the Most High, is the mighty guardian of the second gate of the celestial palaces, who accosted Moses when he ascended into the celestial domains. Hadarniel accosted Moses when Moses took his celestial trip, like Enoch did. Hadarniel is one of the 72 names of the archangel Metatron. Hadarniel is named with Tusnael and also Sendophone, the two spirit powers appointed over the sounding of the shofar, whose task is to bring the shofar blast before thy throne of thy glory. Hadarniel, the benevolence of the Most High, the mighty guardian of the second gate of the celestial palaces, who accosted Moses when he ascended in the celestial domains. Hadarniel. Hadarniel, cherubim, Urfaniel, seraphim. When they come together, they create all the other chieftains in the world. And the ruler of all the seraphim is Yofiel. He has all the keys of mysteries and all the keys of wisdom. The living creature claims reward from the Holy One, blessed be He, to give to all who go after the initiated in wisdom. The living creature, Yofiel, claims reward from the Holy One, blessed be He. Yofiel gives to everyone who go after the initiated in wisdom, and after any men to learn wisdom and know their master. This reward is for people who pursue wisdom to know their master. Key, very key. Yofiel rewards you when you go after wisdom to know your master, your creator, your framer, your shaper. You are rewarded by Yofiel, who is the keeper of wisdom, who's known and familiar with all mysteries of wisdom and has all the keys of wisdom. You are rewarded by Yofiel from the Holy One when you pursue wisdom to know your master. Remember, Cain chose Satan in the occult. Yeah, knowledge shall increase, but the knowledge of the Most High is the knowledge you should be increasing in. Not the knowledge of sorcery, not the knowledge of nonsense and Satan and all that other crap, but the knowledge of the Most High shall increase. As evil increases, righteousness increases, because it is the days of Enoch, it is also the days of Noah, and it is also the days of Da'at, the days of Methuselah. As it was then, so it is now. When wickedness increases, righteousness increases. But if you wish to be rewarded for the wisdom and the knowledge that you're increasing in, you must be seeking knowledge. You must be pursuing knowledge that reverence, that honor your master, which should be your creator, your maker, your framer, your shaper, the Most High Yahuwah, the great I am, loving kindness, Anu Kased. When a man passes away from this world, this living creature goes out riding on 4 flying seraphim. Yofiel goes out riding on 4 flying seraphim. Why? Because he is the leader of the seraphim. He goes out riding on 4 flying seraphim, and they fly before that person. It does not let the accusers who seek justice approach that person. Many are the messengers of peace around that person. And when the seraphim travel and are seen, all the fiery serpents, all the seraphim who came out of the serpent, Satan, all the fiery serpents who came out of the serpent, Satan, which brought death to the world, are subjugated. When Yofiel travels on those 4 flying seraphims, and all the messengers of peace, many of the fallen ones, the fallen seraphim, who come out of the fiery serpent, Satan, which brought death to the world, they are subjugated. This is the reason why Yofiel goes before this creature, goes before this person. This is why this living creature, seraphim chieftain, flies before the soul. Okay? And does not let these accusers who seek justice approach the soul. Many are the messengers of peace around the soul. Let's see if I get you something real quick. Hold up. How come I didn't get, man? I tell you. Let's see. Let's give you a precept. Let's give you a precept. Let's go. Hold up. What did I give you here? What I did here? Oh, let me see. Okay. Let's give you a precept. How these let's give you a precept right here real quick. Let's take this too. Hold up. Let's give you a precept real quick. Let's go here. All right. And let's carry this picture over also. I want this picture carried over. Yeah, let's carry that over real quick. All right. So let's give you another precept for this flying seraphim. Let's go to the Pseudepigrapha, Book 2. The story of the Rechabites, sons of Jonadab, sons of Rechab. page 458 and page 459. We read number 14. As the bride rejoices over her betrothed bridegroom, so the soul rejoices at the good news of the holy angels. For the angels say to the soul nothing except this alone: O pure soul, your Lord is calling you to come to him. Then the soul with great rejoicing leaves the body to meet the angel. And seeing that pure soul which has just left the body, all the holy angels unfold for the soul their shining stoles. And they receive the soul with joy, saying, Blessed are you, O pure soul, and blessed, for you have thoroughly done the will of the Most High your Lord. And this is how he brings his providence to each one of us. The soul discerns and knows the day of his departure through a revelation from holy angels. And we live an extremely long time. See now? So now they're talking about the journey to the soul and how the angels receive the soul when it's time for the soul to depart. Let's see. And while we are looking at that holy and spotless soul, the holy angels carry the soul away and salute the soul. And thus the soul ascends and goes up from us in glory. And after it ascends with them and passes into the region of the power of the highest heaven, then other orders of angels receive the soul with joy. These chieftains, these seraphim messengers, Yofiel, Tzidkiel, Urfaniel-Hadarniel-Tzidkiel, receive the soul with joy. These are the highest, these are the higher angels. And the archangels salute the soul like Archangel Michael, and afterward they stretch out to it their hands and lead it to the thrones and dominions that are above them. And thus it goes up and ascends until it enters before and worships before the Atik Yomen, the Most High. This is the story of the Rechabites, sons of Jonadab, sons of Rechab, in the Pseudepigrapha book 2. You see that right there? 6 winged seraphims, Yofiel, riding on 4 chariots of fire. Huh? Let's get it one more time. Let's get it one more time. It's a long chapter, family. When a man passes away from this world, this living creature goes out riding on 4 flying seraphim, and they fly before that person. And they do not, Yofiel does not let the accusers who seek justice approach this person. Many are the messengers of peace around him. You see that? We just read you a precept from the Pseudepigrapha. This holy living creature, Yofiel, stands ready. And when the soul rises and reaches it, when the soul rises and reaches Yofiel asks the soul the secret of his master's wisdom. Remember, Yofiel holds all the keys of wisdom. Yofiel asks the soul the secret of his master's wisdom. It is given its due according to the wisdom it pursued, according to the wisdom it acquired. Remember, the seraphims, These are the six-winged seraphim who sanctify their master 3 times a day. It is they who are strict with the righteous to a hairbreadth. It is they who punish in this world and in the world to come. So Yofiel asked the soul the secret of his master's wisdom. The soul is given its due according to the wisdom it pursued, according to the wisdom it acquired. Remember, you are supposed to pursue the wisdom which honor and reward, which honor your master. The wisdom that leads you to know your master. The wisdom that leads you to have a relationship with your master. The wisdom that leads you to reverence your master, your creator, your framer, your shaper. You are being asked by this chieftain seraphim, Yofiel. And Yofiel asks you this question. What you gonna say then? What you gonna say to Yofiel when Yofiel asks you the wisdom, the secret of your master's wisdom? You are given your due according to the wisdom you pursued and according to the wisdom you acquired on the earth. If you could have gained wisdom but did not, your soul is rejected outside the gate, outside the chamber. If that person could have gained wisdom that lead them to know their master, and did not gain that wisdom, their soul is rejected outside the chamber of splendor. It does not enter, but stands under that chamber in shame. When the seraphim under the living creature raise their wings and flap their wings, they burn the soul. Remember, these are seraphims, 6-winged seraphims, fiery dragons. You're going to get burned if you pursue wisdom that does not reverence your maker, your creator, your framer, your shaper, your master. If you pursue mundane wisdom, when the chieftain seraphim Yofiel asks you the secret of your master's wisdom, if you could have gained wisdom but you did not, your soul will be rejected outside this chamber of splendor. And the seraphim under the living creature, Yofiel, raise the wings, flap the wings, and burn that ass. It burns and burns not, exists and exists not, shines and shines not. So it is sentenced each day. This is what happens. This is the sentencing of the soul. This is the sentencing of the soul who does not pursue wisdom that leads to a relationship with their master. They are burned by the seraphims every day. Burn and burn not. Exist and exist not. Shines and shines not. It happens so every day. Though it has done good deeds, it is rejected outside. Why? For there is no greater reward in that world. As for those who strove after wisdom to behold the glory of their master. See, you can do good deeds and still be rejected. You can do good deeds and still rejected. Why? Because you did things that you wanted to do for yourself. You did things for yourself. You did not follow the precept that the Most High laid out for you in Matthew 7, verse 21 to 23. It says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. And what is the will of the Father who is in heaven? Pursue wisdom that leads you to have a relationship with your master. Yofiel, who is familiar with all the mysteries of wisdom and has all the keys of wisdom, will reward the initiated in wisdom. Any men who learn wisdom and know their master. This living creature, Yofiel, claims your reward from the Holy One. This reward is for people who pursue wisdom to know their master. When you rise and stands, when this holy living creature, Yofiel, stands ready, and your soul rises and reaches this holy living creature, Yofiel will ask you the secret of your master's wisdom. Your recompense will be according to the wisdom which you pursued and acquired in this life. If you could have gained the wisdom that led you to a relationship with your power, but you did not, you pursued the other wisdom, your soul is rejected outside. And the other seraphims under Yofiel raise their wings, flap them, and burn you every day. Although you've done good deeds in your life, you still rejected out. You still rejected. Why? Because you did your own thing. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter the kingdom of heaven. How do you enter? By doing the will of the Father, not by doing your own thing. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not do many mighty works in your name? And then will I declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, you workers of iniquity. You see, he says, depart from me, I never knew you. You workers of lawlessness, you workers of iniquity. Why? Because you did your own thing. You pursue wisdom that did not lead you to knowing your master. That's why he says, depart from me, I never knew you, because you did your own thing. Your wisdom did not lead you to know your master. And this is why it says in Matthew 7, depart from me, I never knew you. So you don't want to be in a situation where you are being rejected even though you did good deeds. For there is no greater reward in this world. There is no greater reward in that world as for those who strove after wisdom to behold the glory of their master. There is no limit to the reward for the initiated in the wisdom of beholding the glory of their master. Happy are they in this world and in the world to come. As it is written, happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gets understanding. The wisdom that leads you to reverence your master. Happy are you if you find the wisdom that leads you to reverence your master. Why? Because you will be rewarded and you will be allowed entry into the gate, into the chamber of splendor. You will be led and be rewarded by the chieftain Yofiel. Matthew 7 verse 24. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock, and the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on a rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And when Yeshua finished these sayings, the crowds were astonished at his teaching. Why? For he was teaching them as one who had authority, and not as their scribes. Let them hear you when I speak, Most High. The spirit of Urfaniel rules over everything, and everything is included in him and looks at him. The living creature Yofiel rules over 4 other living creatures with 4 wheels to each. One will face east, one will face north, one will face south, and one will faces west. Each wheel has 3. You know what? Let's stop here. Let's stop here. And we shall continue in the next lesson. But you receive what you were supposed to receive. The chieftains Urfaniel, the chieftain Hadarniel, the chieftain Tzidkiel, the chieftain Yofiel, and the Tzidkiel men. We went to the pseudepigrapha and we read about the Rechabites, sons of Jonadab, sons of Rechab. We went to the Apocalypse of Paul and we read about the river of fire, Achi, Ruja. We connected the precepts and we got understanding. Precepts upon precepts, precepts upon precepts. Here a little and there a little, like it's supposed to be. We must pursue wisdom that leads us to know our master, our maker, our framer, our shaper, our creator, our power, our father, mother. The wisdom that leads us to have a relationship with the Most High. It is this wisdom that will give us a key to enter into the chamber of Hod, the chamber of the very heaven, the chamber of splendor. Anything beyond this wisdom, we will not gain entry. We will not gain entry by the angel Yofiel. The seraphims, they are there who punish and reward in this world, and they are strict with the righteous to a hair's breadth. So check your life out. If something ain't working out, it's because you're being corrected. Perhaps the seraphims are dealing with you right now. Don't fret. Walk through that portal with integrity. Repent and return unto the Most High. I pray that this lesson, this information, get you a little bit more closer to your power. And that this sacred knowledge, I pray that you reverence the knowledge, that you reverence the Most High. And you are grateful because you're receiving knowledge that you will never have received in the church. This is to prepare your soul journey in Malkut. And one day soon, because life is but a fleeting moment, when we are called by our Maker to return to our source, then we shall be ready to go when it's our time to go. And we are better off because we receive information that will help us prepare for this journey that all of us will one day have to travel by, the road that we have to travel by. We got to take on this journey one day. And perhaps you may be reincarnated and perhaps not. It all depends. When the angel Yofiel asks you about the wisdom of your master, and you are giving your due according to the wisdom you pursued in this world. Remember, family, this is the gathering of Zion. Yerushalayim, the Yahudims, are being called back unto the Most High. Repent and return to your power who created you, your framer, your maker, your shaper. You are truly the sons and the daughters of the Most High Power, created in the kingdom of lights. This information come for you tonight. Perhaps you dealing with somebody who just crossed over, or someone is crossing over. Over the past few months, I've prayed for, spoke with several people who went through this portal. As I said to you, these videos, I can't do them often because it takes a toll on me. Even after I do a work for somebody, it takes a toll on me. I want to say thank you to the few people who support this channel. You're faithful in that, and may the Most High bless you 1,000-fold. And for everyone else, you can't support this channel. I accept your support. It takes a lot to do this work a lot of times. It takes a lot. It takes a toll on the body, on the spirit, also on the soul. I accept your support. All praises to the Most High, our power. The great I am, loving kindness, the Holy Great One. The power of the Yahudims. All praises to the all-merciful Father, the ones who were, the ones who are, and the ones whom shall always be. All praises to Yahuwah, Gamet, Papa Bonje. Be like the Mayanians. Of the great city of righteousness, the city of Enoch. They forgave each other often. They grieve at any thought of the Most High disappointment. They kept forgiveness in their back pocket. They shared everything in common. That's called the order of Enoch. The Most High promised Achi to raise for himself a people in the end of days with the same type of faith that was found among the people of Enoch and among the people of Methuselah, his son. Are you that people? Are you the ones being raised up in the last days? Work on yourself. Work on those vices. Work on those enemies. Work on those hurdles. Work on those things that come to sink your battleship. You are not alone. We all working. We all have work to do. The journey continues. Call on your support system. Call on your powers, the seraphims, who are strict with you to a hair's breadth. Ask them to guide you. Perhaps you have a Zanset, an ancestor who became a seraphim. Call on them, your righteous ones, from both your mother's side and your father's side, going back to the beginning of your lineage. You don't know who's there. Just make a call out to them. Ask them to guide you. They sent you here. They know you. They know who you are. They see everything that's going on. They are known by other names in other countries. Don't get caught up with the names. A seraphim is known by another name in another culture. It's the same principle. It applies everywhere. Until next time, Ya Shalom.